Hello, hello. Let me get myself set up here. Hello, good morning. Let's see, I should get my, I feel like that's too close. Let me look at this real quick. I guess it's all right. I feel like it's really close. Anyways, you can see it, I can see it, it's all good. I need to put my smock on. Just give me a second. I'm gonna take my sweater off, put my smock on. It is so dry and staticky. My hair has got to be a mess. Let me look at my hair real quick. Look it this way. It's all sticking up. It's so staticky right now. I don't know what to do. Anyways, all right. I have to live with static, I guess. What a mess. It's like I can feel it, like charging the air. Anyways, the joy of live streaming, right? Anyways, hope you're having a great day. All right, today we start on the glass. Let's see. Let me see how everything's looking here. I guess we are okay. Here's where we are right now. So I'm fairly happy with where things are. I'm feeling like I am done with. I might do a little bit more with detail, just a touch with the reflection of the glass, but I'll kind of do it while I'm doing the glass. That way, I'm being consistent with colors and things. But as far as the rest of the painting, you know, I really want to keep going with this wood here, but at the same time, there comes, you know, I could work on that wood for another month, and it could look exactly the same. So at some point, you have to kind of say enough's enough. So I think I'm okay with that. So we're going to focus on the glass and specifically the back side of the glass, and hopefully the liquid in the glass as well. So that's from, and maybe a little bit down here as well. And then we'll save the front of the glass for another time. So it's kind of like we're working backwards to forwards. So it's always a good idea when you're doing still life. You know, there's other ways to do things. You know, I don't want to say that there isn't. But personally, I prefer to work backwards from the back of something to the front of something. That way, your paint always looks like the stuff that's on in the front looks like it's on top of the stuff that's behind it. So you kind of build it up as you go. Let's get our stuff ready over here. Oh, I've got to grab my brushes in the other room because I wash them as usual. So one moment while I get those things ready. Let me uncover this as well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna redo this also. Part of me wants to, part of me is like, well, I'll probably use those colors, the same colors, right? I've been using basically this limited palette this whole time, so I'm not far off. I might clean up some sections maybe, but we'll see. All right, give me 1 second and I'll let you look at that for a second. So the only brushes that I used yesterday were this my large 1/2 inch blending brush, a small blending brush, it's a 3mm, and then my number 5 Scepter Gold. I've been really happy with this brush, actually. Hopefully I didn't. Well, it looks okay. So I always come in and I wash it off in the turpentine first, right? And I do that because there could be some residual soap. Now I don't do that with the blending brush. So blending brushes, I make sure there's no soap in there. I rinse them off really good. I dry them out as best I can. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. The other brushes, I tend to, once I wash them all out, I put soap back into the brush and I leave the soap back and I get it nice and straight and I straighten it out with my fingers. And I leave the soap in there, and it's kind of like putting hairspray in the bristles. So it keeps it nice and straight, and the soap, as soon as you put it in the turpentine, it comes out, and you have you keep your brushes nice and straight that way. So let's see where we're going to go with this. Again, working in the background first. My intention is when I do this, to finish each section as I go. So I want to make sure that my lines are nice and straight and clean, and when you're doing glass, the lines are really, really clean and sharp. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my attention on, making sure everything's good and straight and feels straight. So excuse me, can't get rid of this frog in my throat. All right, so where are we starting here? I'm okay with this background color's fine, except that there's areas that I want to straighten out. So I'm torn between straightening things out, or am I going to nudge I think I'm gonna straighten things out. So I'm gonna hit it all again. I'm just gonna do it all again. Let's see how close the color that I've got here already on the palette. I've been working with some grays and really, really dark grays over here, and I think that might even match my the color that I'm looking for. So let's start with that. And actually, before I get started, I'm going to lift this up so that it's at eye level. It's important that when you're working, the section that you're going to be working on is right where you need it to be. I think we're going to put it right there. Let's zoom in if we can. So we'll get that nice and close for you, since we've got an area that we're focusing on. And I'm going to move this over quite a bit. But that's a little bit, maybe it's not too much, I don't know. I feel like you know what, it is too much. I'm going to leave that in the center here. I'm going to adjust my camera. All right, bear with me. Go. It is important to make these changes rather than, trying to muddle through things. So let's, you know what? I'm tempted to. Nobody's here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna publicize that I'm online real quick. Maybe get a couple people saying hi. So my apologies for 1 second. I'll leave it right there. All right. So, not that I need people to be saying hi to me all the time. I like when people come to say hi. That's all. So, let's get started here. I'm going to go into that a little bit of oil, into that dark color that I've got here. Let's see how close I am with that. It should be pretty close, I think. So, one thing I want to do is I want to make sure, get a little more paint on there, a little more oil too. I want to make sure that these lines are super straight. You know, I can only be so straight with things, but yeah, that color's good. I can't even see it, and you probably can't either, but that's okay. My goal is to straighten out any little bits and pieces of stuff here. Yep, I'm gonna get some more paint on there. This one's pretty good at the top. Then down here needs to be a little more straight. Maybe. All right. I'm gonna hit this one again. So this is where. Ooh, that's okay. I'm gonna come back with the other color. I went in a little bit. It's all right. This is, you know, where detail is important, right? So take your time, get your detail right. Nice sharp brush. Now, I have to look at the front ones too, don't I? Because this one is actually pretty crooked right here, this front one. Hopefully I'm not getting in your way. Yesterday I was painting and my head got right in the shot and blurred the painting, but the back of my head was in sharp focus. Real careful. Not worried if it goes into that, because I can push that back out once I go back on those afterwards. It's a quiet day. Nobody around. That's all right. Let's see this. I like, there's this tiny little that. Sometimes I see it depending on how I look, sometimes I don't. I think it looks really good though to have that little line going across. It kind of breaks up the glass a little bit. I think I did this one enough. I want to hit this down here a little bit. Here. There's going to be some reflection on this later. So on this side of the glass, on the front of the glass, there'll be some reflections. But I'm not painting the front of the glass at the moment, so don't care about the reflections yet. That's not bad. Maybe down here a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks okay. All right. I don't want any, weird anomalies coming through. That's why I'm just kind of covering, making sure I cover that whole space too. Alright, so I'm just looking at the back end. I'm looking at the front end a little bit too, right? I'm okay with that one because I'm going to cut that back out. Alright, let me get over here now. It starts to get a little lighter. Except for the very top here. Quiet day. My furnace is on like crazy today. It went from like 40 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday, 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. Today it's like 25 degrees out. What is it right now? It's 27 degrees out right now. Oh, cut my arm. Alright, let's do any other spots that we see that are the same color, which means I might go down there a little bit, but it's a little bit different of a color. I don't think I want to go down there yet. The color's different. But I do see some up here. Just a little bit. Blend that out after. And I see just a little bit back here. Remember, I'm in the detail phase now, so it's okay to get into the weeds a little bit, and that's kind of where I am right now, in the weeds. So I'm leaving the music off today. I had a bit of an issue yesterday. Not major, but enough to annoy me. So I don't want that issue to happen again today. Sometimes I turn on the music and I feel like, especially if other people are home and possibly online, I feel like it messes with things. here too. I'll fix that highlight again afterwards too. I'm using too big of a brush, so it is what it is. I might need to switch, but we'll see. All right, so there's that. Let me get some of these lighter spots on the right and the left. So before I do that, let me just look at the color. I need to mix a little bit here. And I need to move my head a little bit too. Part of me is, I don't know if I've moved or if somebody's been in here and messed with things. I think that's where, right there. Let me try that right there. All right. All right. I think I see what's going on. Let me try this right here. A little bit of oil. Look at that again. This is where, you know, this is super tricky. All right, let me get a couple of these spots. That's a little bit dark. I'm going to put this color over here though. I see a little line here. I need a little white in there. I've been using this paint for over a week now. It hasn't dried up yet. I put a little oil on the palette and on all the different paint spots. It should be a little brighter even. I think that has done wonders. I've never done that before. It's kind of funny that I never thought about using oil to extend paint life. Oh, sorry. So I made some, so basically from here I just kept adding white and another thing of white, so I have several values now. Because this this little section here is lighter. Okay. And I'm gonna get a little detail brush. A little spot I want to fix. Oh, man, I got too many brushes sitting here. Too many brushes. There's a little spot on the right side of that I went outside. And I'm not going to be painting over there if I can help it, so I just want to cut that back just a little bit. I'm going to use just a little turpentine on it. So semi-wet brush. And I'm going to just kind of push that back a little bit. Hopefully you can see Now I just kind of wipe away the mark that I don't want. See that? That looks good. All right, let's look at that again. Now, I clean off my brush slightly. I'm in the same color region here, so I don't really need to change anything. I just want some of this darker stuff again. Slightly darker. All right, so now I'm gonna paint this down a little bit. I'm gonna paint this. This goes to a point down here. Looks good. So keep going back to looking at that color. Still working it. Taking my time. All kinds of reflections in there that I see. All right, now I'm going to go into the dark stuff. I'm going to take a little bit of this dark. I'm going to put it right over here. All right, I haven't cleaned off my brush at all, but I see some little areas that I want to kind of carve out next to this. It's kind of a looks fine. I just need a bit of, I'm going to clean that off now because I need some lighter stuff. So I'm going to get some even lighter. Let me get some oil on there. Always work with the oil. And get some paint on there, and I'm going to make this quite a bit lighter. So another level up. But too much, I can add more white though. I'll add more white. That's fine. There we go. So I see someone has come online, so welcome. Nice to meet you. If I haven't met you before, it's been a quiet day here. Not many people online today, it seems. Now I just see a little bit of a mark here. Yeah, I like that. That looks good to me. All right, now I'm going to rinse that off again. And again, I'm working on the detail. The detail, for me, I love working on the detail because it's like, it says to me, I've done the work. Now I get to play. Now I get to find where everything else goes. Now I see a couple of little, boy, that's getting kind of thin. I might add some more dark to it. And then some more white to it. There's too much oil in there. All right, that's better. If there's too much oil, it'll just kind of slop around on, and it won't lay down on your. You see this kind of shape glowing in there? It goes all the way down to the liquid, kind of like that. And I see another one just to the right. So all these pieces of frosted glass kind of are getting reflected around back and forth and back and forth. I don't know if it's on the back or the front. They're just kind of all over the place. So I'm just going to put it in there like that. And I see a bunch more over here. Boy. Yeah, I'm going to put them in because I see them. I feel like they're on the front and the back. They're really messing with my head. So let's get some more paint. And so I've got one here. And I've got another one a little taller over here. As I've said before, no one's going to look at this and say, oh, you got the reflection all wrong, because they're not going to see this ever again, right? This is kind of like where I get to put in the pieces that I think stand out the best, you know. And there's a little bit of a highlight on the top of these. I don't know if I can get that in. I might have to let that dry a little bit. There's like a second one up top here. And a second one on top here. So it's like it's reflecting twice. It's weird. And then there's another one in the middle, but the one in the middle is actually, it looks like the color of the liquor down here. So it's kind of a weird color. I'm not going to do that one yet because I've got others elsewhere that I'm going to get to. So let's keep going with the shade that I've got going on here, because I think that'll be fine. So I'm looking at this section now, and I see there's this wide reflection here. It kind of goes up and down like that. I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit. And I've got a repeat of that a little bit further down. Oh, make that around the tip. A repeat of that right down here. Yeah, that looks good. And I've got a couple of lines. I just keep going into my palette here, grabbing the shade that I think it is. And let's see. I see a line here. And a little bit of something there. All right, I think that's good. Now let me get over here on this side. I'm going to go with maybe this tone here. And so you can't really see, it's pretty much the same tone that I put underneath there, but I want to blend this in a little bit and check my sort of check my work from before. I'll do that with a blending brush after. Let's see. Now, there is a line that needs to come down here. Make sure that this gets nice and straight. That looks good. And there's a piece in there that I don't think I saw before. But let me get in these lines here. Let's see, those are kind of blurry. I might leave those right where they are. Just kind of touch them a little bit. I'm not unhappy with that part. This piece of glass needs to be straightened out. There's a little blob there that is sticking out there. I think I'm going to do it with the gray. All right, so bottom here is gray, but the top is not. So let me get this in here like that, nice and straight. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in there too much. And I'm going to get a little bit of a lighter gray. Further up. Maybe that's why it's sticking out, because that lighter gray is not really where I need to be. All right, let me get some of this color here. Hopefully there's some left. Yep, good. And I'm gonna put it down here, I think. And I'm gonna add a little white to it. And a little bit of this color that I mixed earlier. All right, now we're getting somewhere with the color, a little bit more of this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that color. So this is like the color, I had already put in a layer of this earlier. That looks good. Just blend that down a little bit. So this is kind of wet here, so I can blend that out. Be super careful. Well, I just blobbed it in there, of course. Right. People are coming, people are going, just as fast. It's kind of funny how that happens to me. All right, let's blend that out real quick. I'll get my small blending brush here, because it's a small area. So this is a angled 3mm, and I'm just going to carefully, not too much. Just kind of soften that up a little bit. Let me look at that side too. That side seems a little bit right down there. Looks like it needs something. Question is what? What does it need? I think it needs a bit of the same that I've been just doing just now. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to that so it slides a little bit. I think that's the problem I have, is that it looks a little messy right here. And so I want that to kind of... Yeah, that looks better to me. Helps me see that edge just a little bit better. A little spot right there. And I'm being super nitpicky right now. All right, that looks good. All right, I think I'm happy with that background there. Now I've got to start working on those frosted bits. They're not even really frosted. They're more like etched in. There's a thickness to those pieces. They're not. It's not just frosted on top. But it's kind of dug into the glass a little bit. So let me clean this off. Put my little bug up in the corner so you can see it. All right, so we need to make some decisions because, like I said, I want this to be the last time I do these, if I can help it at all, of course. And quite honestly, it's not much different than what I've already got up there. In some cases, it's fairly spot on. So I'm looking through look through a little hole in my hand to isolate colors and isolate areas to see what I'm looking at. All right. All right, this one's, I'm going to start here, move left to right. This one is actually not too bad, but I think it's too clear. Like I see it too good. Like because it's on the curve there, it needs to be a little bit, I don't know, funky. So I'm trying to figure. I think it's, yeah. There's a highlight on top of it. I'll do that highlight afterwards. But I'm going to soften the edge just a little bit too. All right, let's just go ahead and do it. Need some color. Okay. I think I'm going to go with, let's see. It's kind of a common, it's towards the lighter side, of course. I'm going to do the lighter, well, yeah, I'm going to do the lighter stuff first. I keep going back and forth. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? All right. Let's do it. Make a decision, move forward, right? And actually, I'm going to change brushes. That has to happen. This brush is too thick for this. I do not want to make a mistake. I'm going to go up to my zero brush, zero round. This is a Winsor Newton series. Right here is Winsor Newton series 7 zero round brush. Get some oil on it. And I'm going to go with the lighter stuff, right? I think that's what I said. All right. So now I can really be careful with those edges. Yep, keep going. This is looking fine. All right. Yeah, that's looking good. Happy with that so far. Now I want to add some of that, some of this color here. I'm not going to clean off my brush. I'm just going to dip it right in. And let's see how that looks. And this has to be blended out, of course. And I'm also going to get a little bit of maybe, oh, what happened to my art cam? You know what? My apologies. My art cam, oh, there it is. Came back. We're all good. It's annoying. So there's some gray in this, there's some brown in this. Okay. I'm tempted to use a different brush to blend. Usually I would probably pick up my little 3mm, but I'm going to use again a zero. Actually, this is a 5/0. I don't know what that means. Half a zero? I don't know. And I'm just going to blend this out and see where I get with it. I kind of want that lighter stuff to get into the middle there because I feel like it's a little too dark. Clean off my brush real quick. I'm going to add a little more of that lightness in the middle there. More lightness. Switch to my blending brush. It's getting closer, getting closer. Happier with it, I think now. I think. And a little bit of darker stuff down at the bottom here, just a little bit. Switch to the blending again. Now the only thing I want to do is I want to soften that edge just a little bit. Let me put that brush down. Put both these brushes down for a moment. I want to soften that edge just a bit. What do I want to soften with? I think I want to soften with a different brush because I kind of want a little more control over it. Wish I had like a little... Wait, this one's super tiny. I don't know, I think that's too small. It's not really it's not a blending brush. Alright, I'm going to try this one. This is number 1. It's a Winsor Newton Cotman. I think it's synthetic hair, I'm not sure. Alright, I just want that to be a little bit blurry. So I'm really just going to tap this edge, get my head out of there. You don't want to do this with one of your good brushes. It'll mess up the tips over time. That's why I grabbed a different one. This is a cheap brush. It's a good brush. It does a good job when I use it, but it's not an expensive brush. Easily replaced. Winsor Newton Series 7 are expensive brushes. Don't use those for blending. Those are for painting. Let's see, that looks pretty darn good, I think. Let's look at it for a second. I know. I'm sitting here a long time looking at stuff. That looks pretty good. I'm going to add a little highlight that I see. So I'm going to grab my little Winsor Newton again. My zero brush. And there is a little highlight. go with the same color I've been using here, because I think with all the blending and stuff that I did, well, maybe I'll make it just a little bit brighter. I want to make sure it stands out. There's a little something right on the top of this. Might have to paint dark around it so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So that adding a light, well, I guess I kind of see it. Yeah, I see it enough, I guess. Right. I think I'm happy with that one. Let me blend that out just a hair more down here, so this looks a little more straight, maybe. Getting my head in there, sorry. Yeah, that's better. I think it's better. Who knows? We'll get there when we get there. All right, continuing. Let's wash that brush off. And we're going to do the same thing with the next one. I'm going to start with light on the outside. And this one is really light on the outside. Well, see, should I start dark or should I start light? I think I should start light and then do the dark. Now, the edges of this on the right and the left kind of glow a little bit. So that's why I kind of want to get those in there first. So I'm going to go with I don't know if I put any oil on that. I don't want to make things too oily, but I always want to have oil on my brush, not turpentine. It's a nice bright white color. Might have to get some more white in there. Not pure white, but close. Kind of glows. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So, close to the top. And I see someone has come to say hello and watch me for a minute. Welcome. I'm at the detail stage of this, so I'm being very slow and careful. Trying to make sure I don't screw things up at this point. I love doing detail, I tell you. That line nice and straight if I can. I think it's all right. Nice and straight. All right, I think that's good. The other side, like I said, there's like a little ridge because these are carved into the glass. These frosted spots, so that wherever it's sticking out, and it's deeper in the center than it is on the edge, than it is on the top and bottom, I should say. All right. So I'm going to go down into the whiskey just a bit. So I can start to see it in the whiskey there. All right. I might do that. I see that glow on this one also. Do I see it anywhere else? I don't see it so much on this one or the others, but I do see it on that one. So let me get that glow on that one too. Working the, trying to work things evenly. Where I see a similar color, I try to keep going around. So it's on the left-hand side and the right-hand side here. Nice and bright. And I can make it wider as long as I'm going into that piece, because I'm going to cut it back when I paint the inside portion. Steady hand. That's why I use the maul stick, right? Maul stick helps keep you steady. You got something to rest your hand on. And you don't have to go out and purchase them all. It can be any old stick. Go out and get a stick from a tree if you want. I don't care. Whatever you need to do. And this one again, I can see going into the liquor a little bit, so I'm going to make sure I paint that down. All right. Good so far. Let's rinse that off. I see I've thoroughly bored a couple of people and they left. Thank you for joining. People come and go so quick. It's ridiculous. Anyway, well, it's, people are doing what they need to do. I would assume someone who had a real interest in art and just happened by my my channel would possibly stop for a moment and say hi. But that's okay. I'm not, it's really hard to create a solid community, like I've gotten some good ideas from people. I'm going to go with this tone here. This feels a little bit darker than the one before it. Yeah, it certainly does. So let's see. Yeah, I think that looks fine. I'm gonna have to get some more oil in there, I think. This is an area that I can add oil. It's funny, sometimes I want my paint thick, sometimes I want it thin, so you kind of have to play with that. Now here I'm cutting back this. Well, let me check my, okay, my speakers are okay. Sometimes, oh, sorry. Sometimes I, when a camera goes off and back on, it messes up my speakers. This is super thin though. That might be better there. And at the top, it pretty much disappears, so I want to make sure I get that. Kind of beveled edge, I guess you could say. So that's called, where it gets thin and then thick again. No, that's not a beveled edge. I guess this is a bevel. What I'm painting is beveled edge, right? But I'm thinking of something different. All right, that looks okay. Let me do the other side. Same thing. Now, I'm gonna paint right in the center of that too. Alright, now I want to add there's some variation in there. But before I do that, I'm going to do this next one again too, because they're very similar in color. So I'm just going to grab a little more of that paint. I might have to. Let's see if I can get away with what I've got here. Alright. I've got to straighten out this little piece right here. I've got to cut back. There we go. And then make these nice and thin. And same thing the other side. Nice and thin. It's coming out. Not unhappy with it yet. I think that looks okay. Alright, now I'll just paint the center again. Alright, now I'll come back with some variations, because there's definitely some variation here and there. So welcome if you're just joining me. Nice to see you, nice to have you. I'm going to go with some of the lighter stuff here first. I want to just kind of, you're welcome to ask questions or just sitting back and watch and listen to me ramble away. That's fine too. I've been painting this for several weeks now. I only work on it for maybe an hour or two a day, so given that I don't spend an awful amount of time on it, I certainly should spend more time on it. If I want to get paintings done fast, you got to spend time on them. That's probably my biggest crutch is, not having the time I wish I could have for things. Right. I think on the other side, I think it's well. Let me do the other one too. right? Because we're trying to kind of work things at similar times. You know, if I've got similar colors, let's do the same thing. So here it should be light on this side, and we'll blend that out a little bit more afterwards. Yeah, and on the top here, all right, and clean that off. Now, and I'm going to go a little darker on the other side, and then I'll do a little, just a touch of blending. Get a little bit of oil back on my brush, always working with oil. And I'm going to go on the darker side now here. Hopefully this isn't too dark. I think it's fine because I see a bunch of, and I can blend it. I know it probably looks, you're probably saying like, that's too dark, but I'll blend it out a little bit too. We'll add a little more depth to these things. Hopefully they're looking okay to you from your perspective. Barely touching the canvas, just trying to graze some of that color onto the, and it's dark down here. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and I'm going to take that little brush that I was using earlier and just blend that out a little bit. Tap it out. All right, I'm happy with that so far. All right, 2 more to do, and I should probably hit the ones at the top. I suppose I should probably hit the ones at the top too, but we'll see. We'll see in this area up here. I'm not sure yet. My eyes are starting to get a little tired here. I hope you're doing okay. All right, let's look here. So, again, we use our fist. It's fairly similar to what I did on the left-hand side, I think. So I'm going to do this one. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do both these at the same time. They're fairly similar. They're actually fairly similar to what I just did. They're just not as. And I'm looking at this, and this is not blended out enough. That's better. All right. So let's wash that. Usually I start with dark and then I go to light with oils, but I'm enjoying starting with the light and going to the dark right now, so that's where I'm going to keep going. I can hear my son upstairs tapping away at something. I don't know what he's doing. Alright, same thing. Really no different than what we've been doing. I feel like there's a piece of white sticking through it. It could just be the grain of the canvas. Could be. All right, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Yep. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I forget. I probably lost my viewer because of it. That's okay. Get a little oil. I made a little spot right there. I'm going to have to fix that. All right, let's look at these real quick. Yep. Let's go darker now. Wash that off. And where was I? I feel like I was here. Yeah, that's where I was. All right. Maybe even darker. I saw something that was sticking out here. There we go. And then I'm just looking at this for a second. And I think this one will also get this one here will also get a little bit of just like I did over here. Since it's going on the bend here, just want it to soften up a little bit, those edges here. Just a touch. All right. All right, let's look at that for a second. I'm going to do a couple little things here. Get my little brush ready here. There's some areas that could use a little, just a sharp brush. So I'm thinking right here especially. And all right. Alright. I think I'm pretty happy with that so far. I'm tempted to hit these little things up here real quick because I don't want, because I'm working in all the same colors, right? So I may as well hit them. I got a little time left, so clean that off. Using all the same colors, and even though I'm going to come back tomorrow, but I think tomorrow I'm going to focus on the liquor here. So let's same thing that I was doing before. Start with the lights because that seemed to work well. And I've got to look at each one of these. I'm going to do kind of all of them at the same time. I prefer to do it that way, and I think it's wise to, when you're painting, or drawing for that matter, try to work as much of the painting as you can at one time. Can't even see what I'm doing here. But I'm putting paint on the canvas. I want it to be able to blend in a little bit here and there, so yeah. Let's see here. I think it's a little bit more that I need to put darker stuff on. I've got to do that ridge again too, so I'm not too worried about that. I've got to put darker stuff in the middle. And if you're just joining me for the first time, I see a couple of people have popped into the room. Welcome. My name's Jason. I've been painting this for a few weeks now, and I am getting close to the finishing touches. I will be doing that by Thursday. That's my goal, is to finish this painting on Thursday at the latest. If I could finish it tomorrow, that's even better, but I don't think I'll finish it tomorrow because I know there's a lot of detail in this liquor area here. So I'm not gonna try and rush it. All right, now I can get some slightly darker stuff. Let me wash that off first. Yeah, get a little bit of oil on it. So this is linseed oil, that's turpentine. And I'm going to go in this area here, I guess. And hit these areas. That might be a little dark. Try that again. That's a little better. Let me try that again. Yeah, that's better. And everybody goes again. I'm just going to keep painting though. You can't stop me from painting. This is the most painting I've done in years. And it feels good. Alright, let me get a little bit darker just to get some variation in here. Go blend some of this out. Then I'll take my sharp blending brush here. I'm just going to tap those center pieces out a little bit. I painted this earlier. All right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Let me get the full view of this up for you. There we go. I'll move it down a little bit too so you can see it better. I'll go in one more for you. Oh, too far. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, it's hard to get things right where you want them, right? All right, but that's where we are. I think I'm happy with that. Again, I did the background here, so the frosted areas in the back are what I did. I didn't touch the ones in the front yet. So I will have to still do that. That's fine. And I did a little bit up top here. So I think that background looks fine. Tomorrow, I'm going to tackle that whiskey. There is a ton of detail in there, but it's all kind of the same color for the most part. I hope. We're going to have to figure that out. But I think I'm very close. Yeah, I think I'm very close. So, oh hey, You're showing up. I'm about to be done. But, you know, here's where I am. It's coming out pretty good, I think. I'm happy with it. I think I'm pretty much done with the shaker and the wood. I'm not planning on going back to those except for maybe some detail in the reflection of the glass, but not much, not much. So that's where we are. So thanks for joining. I wish I had caught you a little earlier, but you know, not everything aligns. So but I will be back again tomorrow. Similar time in the morning. I hope my New York time. So hopefully you can catch me again then. My goal is to finish this by Thursday. So hopefully you can join to see the signing of the painting. With that, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining and happy painting. Bye.